Alright, so this is episode 3 of the Bloodline Olympics, and there was a bit of a controversy when I was recording the last episode. So, uh, down at the bottom of the screen is the scoreboard, and it'll say Hollywood Bloodline has 50 points with a little asterisk next to it. But if you haven't seen the other two episodes, go watch those. This is the finale. But anyway, at Survivor Series, it was The Rock versus Wade Barrett. But after the match got simulated, it said Rusev defeated Wade Barrett. Now, I will leave it up to you guys on if you think Hollywood Bloodline should be at 50 points currently or 48. But anyway, here are a recap of the rules, even though they'll be down in the description. Any appearance on Raw is 1 point. And I will let you know, points do stack. So, a win on Raw would give you an additional point. A PLE appearance will get you 2 points, and a win on a PLE will get you 2 additional points. However, if you get a title win, doesn't matter on Raw or a PLE, that's 3 points. If you main event a PLE, that's 2 points. Since the Royal Rumble is the only major match that's left, besides the Elimination Chamber, but I'm not counting that, if you win the Rumble, you get 5 points, and if you main event WrestleMania, you get 10 points. On top of those will definitely be on top of the 2 points you get for main eventing any PLE. But with that being said, let's do a quick recap of our teams. So let's go to roster. Yeah, teams. So we have the Banzai Bloodline, which has Yokozuna, Samu, Fatu, and Nia Jax, with their Wiseman, Mr. Fuji. We got the Bloodline, which has Solo Sikoa, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu, with Armando, Alejandro, Estrada as their Wiseman. Then we have the Hollywood Bloodline, which is The Rock, Naomi, Rosie, and Jamal, with Ava as their Wisewoman. Then we have the Island Bloodline, which is High Chief Peter Maivia, Tamina, Haku, and Tama, with Bobby the Brain Heenan as their Wiseman. Then we got... where's the rest of the Bloodlines? Okay. The OG Bloodline, which is Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and the Usos, with Paul Heyman as their Wiseman. Excuse me. And the last one, the Wild Bloodline, which is Umaga, Rikishi, Alpha, and Sika, with Captain Lou Albano as their Wiseman. In fact, we are on the road to WrestleMania. So, we have Uncle Howdy versus Bray Wyatt, Liv Morgan versus Candice LeRae, Mr. Iguana versus Carlito, Tyler Bate has a self-promo, LA Knight versus Penta, Jade Cargill versus Indy Hartwell, Io Sky versus Nikki Cross, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Asuka and Kairi Sane, and then Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes versus Brent Oakley. And since no member of the Bloodline is on this show, we can just simulate. And this should be the final Raw of December. Candice LeRae versus Liv Morgan. Lash Legend versus Piper Niven. DIY versus the Street Profits. Indy Hartwell versus Jada Parker. Okay, and remember, when it comes to tag teams, it counts as 1 point per person in the match. Doesn't count for managers, just participants in the match. So, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa each get 1 point for being in the match. Kalani Jordan versus Fallon Henley. Tyler Bate versus Finn Balor. Sheamus versus Mr. Iguana. And Bray Wyatt versus Brent Oakley. Okay, yeah, no other Bloodline news. Liv defeats Candice. Piper Niven defeats Lash Legend. Street Profits defeat DIY. Indy Hartwell defeats Jada Parker. And they get 2 more points since they won the match against the War Raiders. Kalani Jordan defeats Fallon Henley. Tyler Bate defeats Finn Balor. Sheamus defeats Mr. Iguana. And Brent Oakley defeats Bray Wyatt. And welcome to Raw Day 1. Bianca, I don't know why you're getting title shots when you have the Money in the Bank briefcase that you still haven't cashed in. And I don't know what happened to Rusev's cash-in. But anyway, Judgment Day versus New Catch Republic. Liv and Indy versus the Unholy Union. Mr. Iguana versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. And that's 2 more points for the Bloodline. And like I said, only PLEs will it be double. So if I counted this as a PLE, it would have been 4 points just for being in the match. But it's just a special episode of Raw. So it's not a PLE. Oh, and The Rock has a match. Okay. So I gotta make sure that these are accurate. Where did I? Alright, yeah, my scores should be pretty accurate for the most part. But yeah, they did get 6 points so far for this episode. They should be at 12 points, yep. That is accurate. Now they're at 51 or 49, depending on how you look at it. If they should still be at 13. Okay, yeah, we're all caught up. In fact, I plan on watching the Men's Rumble, the maybe one or both of the Elimination Chambers, depending on if any of the members of the Bloodline are in them. And then 2 matches at Mania. Okay, new champs. Chelsea retains. Live in Indy win. Sheamus retains. So that's another point. Well, another 2 points for that team. Io Sky beats Lash Legend, and Dirty Dom defeats The Rock. Now, if The Rock would have won this, he would have gotten 4 points. 1 for winning on Raw, and 3 for winning a title. Alright, Candice LeRae versus Io Sky. Man, the new Bloodline... well, not the new Bloodline. The Bloodline is currently getting points. Man, Dakota Kai versus Tegan Knox. Liv Morgan has a self-promo. Sheamus versus Tyler Breeze. Michin versus Wendy Chu. Jada Parker and Ariana Grace versus Piper and Chelsea. Cora Jade versus Natalya versus Lash Legend. And Damian Priest versus Bray Wyatt. Man. The Bloodline is on a roll. At least Tama Tonga and Tongaloa are. Okay, Damian Priest versus Bray Wyatt. Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. Sheamus versus Eddie Thorpe. Ariana Grace versus Wendy Chu. Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Jaron Walker. Cora Jade versus Jada Parker. Man, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa just keep getting matches and wins. They're facing the tag team champions, New Catch Republic. Chelsea and Piper versus Pure Fusion Collective. And then Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane. Hold on. Have I been missing out on any other Bloodline? No. Bray defeats Damian. Randy defeats Carmelo. Eddie defeats Sheamus. Wendy defeats Ariana. Jaren defeats Dominic. Cora defeats Jada. And the tag champs defeat the Guerrillas of Destiny. Pure Fusion Collective defeats Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And Liv Morgan defeats Kairi Sane. Alright, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt versus Jaron Walker versus Damian Priest. Sheamus versus Eddie Thorpe. Ariana Grace versus Kalani Jordan. Wendy Chu versus Sonya Deville. Pure Fusion Collective versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Cora Jade versus Jada Parker. Another match for Tama Tonga and Tongaloa as they face the tag champs again. Gunther versus Obafemi. And Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane. In fact, if you haven't seen episode 1 yet, like seriously, go back and watch it. You can go see Gunther versus Umaga. Which, trust me, that... I didn't want to start the show. Randy defeats Bray, Jaren, and Damian. Eddie defeats Sheamus. Kalani defeats Ariana. Sonya defeats Wendy. Pure Fusion Collective defeat Chelsea and Piper. Jada defeats Cora. Once again, New Catch Republic defeat the Guerrillas of Destiny. Gunther defeats Obafemi, and Liv Morgan defeats Kairi Sane. And Royal Rumble Saturday. Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez. Roman Reigns will get 2 points for appearing on the PLE. So that's 2 points. So does High Chief Peter Maivia. Okay, yeah. Team Impact Squeak versus Isla Dawn. Motor City Machine Gun versus New Catch Republic. Liv Morgan versus Indy Hartwell. Pure Fusion Collective versus Chelsea and Piper. And then the Women's Royal Rumble. Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if they have Nia Jax, Tamina, or Naomi. But first of all, let's go back here. Roman Reigns will get 2 more points for winning at the Royal Rumble. That's Hollywood Bloodline stuff. There's the OG Bloodline. So you have 2 more points for beating Drew McIntyre. But Peter Maivia does not get any. Okay, JC Jane, Jakara Jackson, Natalia, Kaden Carter, Gigi Dolan, Meechin, Ariana Grace, Dakota Kai, Sonya Deville, Alba Fire, Asuka, Carmella, B-Fab, Julia, Lash Legend, Bianca Belair, Naomi. So Hollywood Bloodline will get 2 points. Ivy Nile. Okay, there's Nia Jax, which means the Banzai Bloodline will get 2 more. Okay, yeah. Ivy Nile, Valhalla, Nia Jax, Katana Chance, Jade Cargill, Wendy Chu, Candice LeRae, Blair Davenport, Alexa Bliss, Fallon Henley, Tegan Knox, Jada Parker, and Nikita Lyons. So let's hit the square. And Bianca Belair has the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase and the Royal Rumble. Alright. Then we go to night 2. Aaron Matthews gets a WWE title shot against Dirty Dom. Bray Wyatt versus Big E. Uncle Howdy versus Karrion Kross. Nikki Cross versus Cora Jade. Charlie Dempsey versus Sheamus. Umaga gets 2 points for appearing on the PLE. He takes on Kurt Angle, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes, and then the Men's Royal Rumble. So let's, simulate all the way here. And Umaga does not get any more points. And Dirty Dom retained in the opener. Big E defeats Bray. Karrion Kross defeats Uncle Howdy. Nikki Cross defeats Cora Jade. Charlie Dempsey is her new Intercontinental Champion. Kurt Angle defeats Umaga. And Cody Rhodes defeats Shinsuke. And Shinsuke Nakamura was on top of the world. He was a very dominant WWE champion until he must have angered the final boss. Okay, speaking of... Okay, hold on. So... Angel? No. Okay, so Jamal will get 2 points for his bloodline. Javon, no. Jey Uso will get 2 for his. Joe Casey, no. Joe Hendry, no. Alexis King, no. Mr. Iguana, no. Obafemi, no. Otis, no. Pat McAfee, no. Okay. So The Rock is the only other member of the Bloodline that is in the Rumble. And if a member of the Bloodline wins this, they will get 2 points for winning at a PLE. Wait, hold on. This is the main event. I forgot to mark that down. So, hold on. So, yeah, Naomi gets 2 more. Nia Jax gets 2 more. Tamina wasn't even in the other match, right?
Here comes the young OG.
Well, yeah, as the male members enter the match, I'll add 2 more tallies for the main event. It'll be all correct on the scoreboard. I just can't guarantee that my tally will be as correct as the scoreboard. Because I had to go frame by frame to make sure that I got every moment correct. Okay.
The Royal Rumble match is here, and just look at the first 2 superstars in the ring. Both extremely determined to go all the way in this
Hold on. Why isn't ramp cam on? Why was it set to third person? I never use the third person cam. At least I never do that during matches. I occasionally set it up for entrances. Here comes Pat McAfee.
He's hurled out and crashes down to the floor. DDT. Lights out. Oh, putting focus on the arm here. Brace yourselves. Here comes our next entrant. Cranking the head. Oh. Hey, do you think R-Truth?
It's R-Truth.
He's in the Rumble right now. One step ahead there. Right to the kidneys from behind. A back suplex. Peeling their opponent off of the ground, hooking the leg. Fisherman's Buster. One thing about the Royal Rumble match is that craftiness has a way of being rewarded. If you can stay low and wait for the chance to strike, to eliminate the competition, you can have plenty of success
So
in this match.
who's up next? Edge.
Look who's here, guys. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, watch out. Ah, they Russian leg sweep. ×2.
Oh yeah, speaking of Edge, I honestly had an idea for a tournament involving every single former WWE champion. Like just the WWE title lineage. So like no Universal Championship or World Heavyweight Championship. Like if you're listed as a WWE champion, just that title.
At the ropes, fighting for a grip on the brink of elimination. And we have another superstar. Comes number 7. The adrenaline is pumping, and the WWE Universe
Alright, there's two cuts in. So let's see. Who's the WWE champions?
Executed back suplex. Into a sleeper hold. And into a neck breaker. We are about to see number 8 now. Vicious arm stop.
Hold on.
And we've got Shawn Spears adding to the turmoil in this Royal Rumble. Up and down, leg lariat.
Okay, well, the WWF and WWF title counts. Because it's the same lineage. Okay, so yeah, I think there's a way to do that efficiently with 55 people.
Almost over the rope, struggling to stay in this match. Looks like Joe Gacy will join the party. He's next in the Rumble. These men have shown no indication of staying down. Their guts, their fire won't allow them to give up. Number 10 on the way. Kicks directly to the chest.
Excuse me.
Solid contact across the chest. And it's Finn Balor.
Well, yeah, we haven't had a single member of the Bloodline enter yet.
Well measured.
And by the Bloodline, I mean like any of the 6 variations I have.
Blasted by a forearm. Setting up. Suplex.
Because I remember there being 4 of them in this match. I just don't remember which 4. I mean, The Rock,
Damage. Have to find a way to stay in this thing.
one of the Usos. I forgot who else. But like I said, I will give them 2 more tallies on my sheet. But you guys will already be seeing the correct scoreboard at the bottom.
Stiff uppercut. Hanging on for dear life here. If both feet touch the floor, you're eliminated. Bam! Elbow to the face.
There goes Pat McAfee.
McAfee has been eliminated. Whipping lariat. Chop. The WWE Universe is on its feet. And deservedly so. These superstars are holding nothing back. Uh-oh. Turn it around with a reversal. Look at this. Are we about to see an elimination? Desperately trying to avoid getting dumped out of the ring. Here comes the workhorse, guys. History tells us they'll spend the most time in there only to come up short for their efforts.
Here comes Austin Theory.
Throws it down with a slam dunk.
And I hope that the Bloodline members do not end up being 27, 28, 29, and 30.
Brutal forearm. Oh, and Theory fights back. The WWE Universe is counting in number 12. Throws on him left in the corner. Elbow for good measure.
In fact, I am filming this episode
Witnessing is trending.
the day after I filmed the first 2. So I won't be able to see any of the comments, like from the other 2 videos at this moment. But if anyone does have any comments, I will go read them. I will discuss with you. so chaotic in this ring right now.
Someone's in trouble. Battling to get back into the ring. Who could number 14 be?
And there goes Brent Oakley. Alright, Jey Uso will get 2 additional points for being in the main event.
To stave off elimination has to stay in the ring. Number 15 incoming, boys.
And who is it? Which member? Well, not necessarily a member of the Bloodline. Man, Joe Gacy and Finn Balor in back-to-back eliminations. You know, I just realized something. With 200 people being on the roster, we have had a severe lack of Sami Zayn this year. He just got in.
Teetering on the top rope, this could be it. Will the feet touch the floor? Man, I can't wait to see what number 17's gonna be. Shaking things up in this rumble with Chad Gable.
It's Chad Gable.
Oh, that just looks like it busted him open. Bam! Launched right out of the ring. Has been eliminated. Big impact off the neck breaker. Number 18. Big boot. And here comes the winner of the 2000 Royal.
Yep, here's the tribal chief. Not the tribal chief, the final boss. You see, I got mixed up because there's the tribal chief, which is Roman Reigns, the final boss, which is The Rock, and the final chief, which is Jaron Walker, aka Small Afro. In fact, we have one member of... I think 2 members of the Bloodline that haven't entered yet. And Ethan Page just got in here, then he got hit with an RKO.
Pulled in from belly to belly. Elimination attempt underway, using everything to stay in this one. But is it enough? This will be number 20. I'm pumped. The Rock saw that one coming. He is looking
Joe Hendry.
to get into the action. He's certainly going to be a threat in the ring.
Say his name and he appears. Oh yeah, there's still Mr. Iguana to enter the Rumble. There goes Wolf Gaines. If you know, you know. Wolf Gaines, Wolfgang, Wolfgang. Whatever you guys feel like calling him. Oh, Jey Uso's gone. No! Not Joe Hendry. No. He was my pick to, well, he was one of my picks to win the Rumble. As a biased fan, but as an unbiased Olympic host, I'm just here for any member of the Bloodline. Man, Chad Gable got ripped in half. There goes Ethan Page, and here comes Dexter Lumis. Spinebuster to Edge. Oh, there goes Edge. Jamal. That was one of the other ones. And who was the last one? In fact, I don't think we've even seen Jacob Fatu yet. Chris Danger. And there goes The Rock. Jamal eliminated his faction member. Look, I know it's every man for himself. But if you would have helped The Rock until the end, you guys would have gotten a guaranteed 5 points for winning the Rumble. And 2 for winning the main, well, 2 for winning at the PLE. Here comes Dragon Lee.
Looks like it'll be Dragon Lee entering the Rumble next. Nice takedown there. There's some power behind that punch. Make it over.
So we have 27, 28, 29, and 30. Mr. Iguana.
Everyone wants to see if he has what it takes to win this. And it's starting to take its toll on him.
And there. Oh no. Oh, but Femi hangs in.
Right across the throat. Oh, my goodness. Snatched up from the canvas into a spine buster.
Man, I don't remember how many more members of the Bloodline are left to enter. Because currently in ring, Jamal's the only one.
There's up their opponent crossing the legs. Kick to the midsection. Setting them up. Canadian Destroyer. Right into the corner. What could be next? Oh, wait. Are we about to see an elimination? Battling to stay alive. It's not over until both feet touch the floor.
And there goes Chris Danger.
Has been eliminated. Could be moments away from being sent over the top rope. Averting danger with an elbow to the stomach.
Mr. Iguana's helping Dragon Lee. But they can't get Jamal out. And there goes Carmelo Hayes. And there goes Dragon Lee. Wait. Who else was eliminated? Well, there goes Mr. Iguana. Which that sucks. Rey Mysterio. I don't remember who the other two are. Well, we absolutely have enough room. And there goes Jamal. Here's Otis. You know what? This is a very interesting potential. Well, final 6 actually. Even though we have no idea who is the last person. At least I don't remember. Alright, well, Dexter Lumis is gone, so we're going to be in our final 5. Wade Barrett. Okay, so I guess we did go through every member of the Bloodline that's in the match. So who will... Well, it's not going to be Otis. But this Final 4 is actually one of my favorite Final 4 I've ever seen in any Rumble in 2K history. Because any 4 of these would be a great #1 contender for the WWE Championship.
Just refusing to give up, continues fighting. Watch the quickness on this. Whipped over in a snap suplex. Devastating kick.
You know what? WWE needs to give us Rey Mysterio versus Obafemi before Rey retires. Because honestly, that match would be a banger.
Jumping stop to the gut. Really continuing to take a beating in this match. And in these situations, it's hard to not get desperate, to start going for Hail Mary plays.
Man, I keep forgetting how tall Wade Barrett is. And there goes Wade. Our final three. Rey Mysterio, Obafemi, and Randy Orton.
Oh my goodness. What a smash.
We have a two-time winner, a one-time winner, and someone who hasn't even competed in the Rumble before.
Getting him right into the corner. Teetering dangerously close to going over the ropes. Scratch, claw, grab anything to fight off elimination.
You know what? I'm calling it now. Obafemi is going to win the Royal Rumble at some point in his career.
Have you ever seen a human being tossed like that?
So let's see. Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes,
Perilous position. You have to find a way to fight this off.
Obafemi, and I'll say Trick Williams. Those are my... Oh, and Jacob Fatu. So those are 5 people that I believe will win the Rumble before they end up retiring. I'm not going to pick an order on how it's going to go. I'm not even going to try to guess the years.
Rey Mysterio making the climb to the very top rope. Avalanche Bulldog.
Man, Obafemi hasn't competed in the Rumble, but he has a very good strategy of, like, rolling out of the way.
Submission won't win the match, but it has to be doing a heck of a lot of damage. And he very quickly counters. Just ejected from the ring.
And there goes Obafemi.
Answers back on Orton. What a counter.
I guess this is it.
Opened a pretty good gash on Rey.
And Randy Orton is your Royal Rumble winner. He will go on to face Dirty Dominic Mysterio or whoever was going to be WWE Champion at the time.
There you have it, outlasting so many others.
So that could realistically take away both main events as a possibility for getting points. Alright, and now we are on our way to Elimination Chamber. Wow, Yoko and Roman in the same match. So Roman will get a point for his bloodline, and Yoko will get a point for his bloodline. And that match also includes Eddie Guerrero, Damian Priest versus Kevin Owens, Candice and Valhalla. Candice and Valhalla versus Chelsea and Piper. Ivy Nile versus Wendy Chu. Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed versus The Miz. Hey, Tamina's in a match. Hey, she's teaming with Kalani Jordan to take on Michin and Jade Cargill. Big E versus LA Knight. Wade Barrett versus Solo Sikoa. And Cody Rhodes versus Kurt Angle. Roman Reigns gets the point since he got the win. Where's that? No. Okay, there it is. Damian Priest wins. Candice and Valhalla win. Wendy Chu wins. Bobby Lashley wins. Alright, Michin and Jade Cargill win. Big E wins. And Wade Barrett wins. And Cody Rhodes wins. Okay, Roman Reigns gets another point. Liv Morgan and Adriana Rizzo takes on Bianca and Jade. New Catch Republic takes on LWO. Valhalla takes on Sol Ruka. Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther. Candice LeRae versus Nikki Cross. Kalani Jordan versus Shotzi. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Pure Fusion Collective. And Wade Barrett versus Cody Rhodes. And so Roman's the only Bloodline member on the show and he loses. So, I mean, Tamina was on the show. It was in the news. But like I said, I'm going to count that. Because at least she's doing something. That's why I'm trying my very best to check the news every week to every other week. Alright, we got Big E versus Randy Orton. A promo between Shayna Baszler and Chelsea Green. Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams. Kalani Jordan and Tamina. Another point for Tamina. Versus Cora Jade and Julia. Damian Priest versus Gunther. Fatu and Samu get 2 points since they're both competing. And they're taking on New Catch Republic. Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy. Penta versus Bobby Lashley. And Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. On free TV? So Big E beats Randy. Shayna wins the promo battle, which against Chelsea Green, honestly, I don't know who would actually win that. Dirty Dom defeats Trick Williams. Tamina's team gets the win. Gunther wins. Samu and Fatu wins. Okay, so yeah, that's 2. Bray wins, Bobby wins, and Roman wins. So that's a win for him. And this should be the... Yep, this is the go home before Elimination Chamber. Gunther versus Big E. As Big E would say, big meaty men smacking meat. Or slapping meat. Whichever way he says it. John Cena versus Karrion Kross. Jade and Bianca versus JC and Fallon. Ariana Grace versus Kiana James. Piper and Chelsea versus Liv and Ivy. Wendy versus Valhalla. Kyrie versus Alexa. Kalani Jordan and Tamina versus Bayley and Nikki Cross. Man, Tamina's actually getting some matches. And Bray Wyatt versus Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes. Gunther beats Big E. John Cena defeats Karrion Kross. Jade and Bianca defeat Fatal Influence. Ariana Grace defeats Kiana James. Liv Morgan and Ivy now defeat Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Valhalla defeats Wendy Chu. Kairi Sane defeats Alexa Bliss. Bayley and Nikki Cross defeat Kalani Jordan and Tamina. And Bray Wyatt defeats Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes. So okay, well this match has nothing on the line. Okay, Lyra versus Raquel for the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther versus Uncle Howdy. Tamina versus Kalani Jordan. So that's 2 for Tamina, since she's appearing on a PLE. There's Rusev's WWE Championship match. Valhalla versus Sol Ruka. Shayna and Zoe versus Chelsea and Piper. Andrade versus Charlie Dempsey for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Macho Man Randy Savage, The Rock, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Trick Williams in the main event. No title on the line. But that's 2 points for The Rock appearing on the PLE, and 2 more for main eventing. And like I said, we're watching a match on this show. And it sure isn't Tamina versus Kalani Jordan. Like, no disrespect to either of them. But it has to be the Chamber. And Tamina does not defeat Kalani Jordan. And Rusev doesn't defeat Dirty Dom. Lyra wins back her title and Rhea wins the Chamber. Gunther defeats Uncle Howdy. Valhalla loses to Sol Ruka. And Pure Fusion Collective defeats Piper and Chelsea. Oh yeah, Andrade's the new Intercontinental Champion. About time. But anyway, there's no title shots on the line. No titles on the line. Even though it says the Chamber will be in the main event, and a title can be on the line. But I've never had an Elimination Chamber match in Universe mode for this game be for a title. In fact, can we go back to the good old days where the Chamber had title matches? Like, I understand you don't want to risk your champions getting injured on the road to WrestleMania, but they basically go from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania without defending their titles. Well, at least the men's champions. Because last year, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes did not defend. No, it was Roman. Roman and Seth did not defend their titles between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Because, well, Seth Rollins had an injury. That explained that. And Roman Reigns is a part-timer. This past year... Oh, hold on. And for the women, Tiffany wait, no. I'm still talking about 2024. So, who... Okay, Rhea defended last year because it was in Perth, Australia. So, that Yeah, that doesn't count towards this.
He's physically and mentally prepared for
And
the task at hand in his
I
big-time match.
don't think Io Sky defended. And then we had this year where Gunther went from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania without defending. Well, no. Saturday night's main event the week before to WrestleMania without defending. And I'm not counting live shows, like the live events, because obviously they'll defend the title. And then Cody went from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania without defending. Rhea Ripley defended on the Raw after the Elimination Chamber, so that's understandable. And then, like, 3 or 4 weeks later, Io Sky defended her title. And then Tiffany Stratton I don't remember if Tiffany Stratton defended at all between when she cashed in to WrestleMania. My point is, your world champions, at least one of your world champions should defend inside the chamber, while the others have just like one-on-one defenses. Like 1 year, put the World Heavyweight title and the WWE Women's title on the line inside the chamber. Then the next year you can do the WWE Championship and the Women's World Championship.
Are you guys ready?
Because I feel like the chamber is missing title defenses. So when was the last time... Yeah, when was the last time a title was defended inside the chamber? Yeah, I think it was 2023 with the US title. That one's not bad.
The competition level has never been higher, but this guy's ready to prove he can hang.
In fact, the last time a world title, I believe, was defended inside the Elimination Chamber was that awful one in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because 2023 was in Montreal. The chamber for the women was for a shot at Bianca Belair and the Raw Women's Championship. Then the other chamber match was for the United States Championship, which that match was great. Then, yeah, 2022 it was for Oh, look, a Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 38. And then it was that awful one for the WWE Championship.
He has a big match ahead of him. Going to need a career-making performance here tonight.
In fact, I just hated the 2022 Elimination Chamber PLE in general. Because listen to this. On the kickoff show, it was Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Which, okay, that wasn't meant to be like a top tier match since it was on the pre-show. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship. That ended in technical submission, and it was a 6-minute match. One of Goldberg's longest matches in WWE, I think. Then, it was the Raw Women's Championship #1 Contenders match, which it was 15 minutes and 45 seconds between Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Doudrop, Liv Morgan, Nikki ASH, and Rhea Ripley. Also, can we talk about how Nikki ASH was screwed out of a pod? Like, she was the 4th one to enter into the chamber, but she didn't get a pod. They saved the pod for Alexa Bliss, who was the last one to make her entrance. And she got that pod. Like, why not have Alexa Bliss enter 4th? They didn't even keep it a surprise. Like, they announced that she was going to be in the chamber. Like, the night... Oh, no, not the night before. The Raw before. Well, either the Raw before or like 2 Raws before. I don't remember. Alright, then there was Naomi and Ronda Rousey defeating Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville by submission. And Ronda had to wrestle with one arm tied behind her back. Then there was a Falls Count Anywhere match between Madcap Moss and Drew McIntyre, which was 9 minutes long. And there was a botch where Madcap Moss looked like he could have broken his neck. Then, honestly, what I think was match of the night, Becky Lynch versus Lita, but that was only 12 minutes and 10 seconds for the Raw Women's Championship. Then, in 14 minutes and 55 seconds, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Riddle, and Seth freaking Rollins for the WWE Championship. In fact, Bobby Lashley didn't even get eliminated. Someone just got thrown into his pod and he was declared that he was unable to compete. Then, how out of everyone in this field was Seth Rollins the first one to be actually eliminated? Then Riddle, AJ Styles, then Austin Theory. Like, I absolutely hated the Royal Rumble 2022 and Elimination Chamber 2022. Both of those shows were so garbage. Okay, well, I can't say Royal Rumble 2022 was completely garbage, because they had Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. That match was fun. What else was on that show? Brock versus Bobby. Alright, that match was alright. Becky versus Doudrop, that match was alright as well. Beth and Edge versus Miz and Maurice. Alright. Okay, I'm being a little harsh on Royal Rumble 2022. But to be fair, I just hated the 2 Rumble matches. So, yeah, my point is, ...2022, at the beginning of the year, was not a very good part of the year. It's to the point where I think 2020 gets way too much hate, and 2022 does not, well, the beginning of 2022 does not get enough hate. Where did I start with this rant? Oh yeah, world champions in the Elimination Chamber. In fact, I forgot who else got screwed out of a pod. Just so Brock Lesnar could get one. Like, you don't fill up pods 1, 2, and 3, have your 2 starting the match enter, and then you have your 6th participant fill out the 4th pod. Oh, Macho Man's gone. Wow, Trick Williams just saved Drew McIntyre. And there goes Trick Williams. Man, Trick Williams just entered the match not that long ago. Man, Drew's not going to be happy if The Rock eliminates him. And there goes Bobby Lashley. LA, you should try to pin The Rock. Like, it wasn't me saying that he should, it was just a suggestion. Like, I'm not cheering for anyone in this match. Even though The Rock's not really the most popular person on, well, in wrestling at the moment, that would probably be Mr. Iguana. One. No. Look, Drew, LA. Honestly, your best choice would be to team up. But, like I said, that's not where I'm showing my allegiance. Rock out of the way. Oh God.
but I don't see any reason for it. No telling what's going on in his mind right now, Michael. The People's Champ! Are you ready for the most electrifying move in all of entertainment? People's Elbow! Hazardous situation.
Yeah, there goes LA Knight.
There's two. Oh, not yet.
Oh no!
Shoulder up. I do not know how they got up from that. Operating on pure instinct. Oh, man.
Claymore to the Rock.
Finish things now. Smart attacking the arm.
Really? You hit him with the Claymore, but you don't even attempt to go for the pin?
Suplex. Oh, what a shot.
Like, I don't understand. They try to go for finishers, but the Rock's the only one that goes for the pin.
Has to find a way out of this. Oh my God. Pulled in from belly to belly. The WWE Universe is showing their appreciation for the action they're seeing. It has been an absolute war out there. These superstars' efforts are not lost on this crowd. Great display of strength with the suplex. McIntyre is getting dismantled. Rock reaching that other line. There it is.
And there goes with the Rock bottom.
That could be curtains for night. Two. He kicks out somehow. I don't know how
LA Knight kicked out again.
just how much pain is he willing to endure in this match? Nice big run. Here's a
BFT. Drew, screw off. 1, 2.
hangs on by a thread. The Rock stays alive. What resilience from the People's Champion.
Well, Drew, I know you want to deal with the Rock,
A maneuver that would end most matches.
but if he has... well, if LA Knight had the...
From the chaos, now the final two combatants emerge. Who will conquer the Elimination Chamber?
You know, maybe I should give... Oh, no, no. If I didn't state it at the beginning of the match, I'm not giving anyone a title shot. Because then I would have to give Rhea Ripley a title shot as well. I mean, yeah, I do like Rhea Ripley, but it's... this isn't focusing on Drew or LA Knight or Rhea Ripley. This is focusing on the Bloodline. And we are on our way to WrestleMania.
Here's your winner, the Scottish Warrior, Drew.
So The Rock only got 4 points, and that's for appearing at a PLE and main eventing that PLE. Alright. So we have Aaron Matthews versus Seth Rollins, The Miz versus Bray Wyatt, Kairi Sane versus Natalya. Okay, Jamal... I'm sorry, Rosie. I'm a little exhausted. Okay, so yeah, Rosie will get the point there. Yeah, it's Rosie and Trick Williams versus A-Town Down Under. Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. Nia Jax versus Cora Jade versus Bayley. So... Alpha and Sika versus Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Carmelo Hayes versus John Cena. And Bianca Belair looks like she's using her Mania title shot now. Because she's not cashing in her Money in the Bank contract. But Aaron Matthews defeats Seth Rollins. Bray Wyatt defeats The Miz. Natalya defeats Kairi Sane. Rosie and Trick Williams defeats A-Town Down Under. Rhea Ripley defeats Zoe Stark. Nia Jax I don't remember which page. There we go. Wait, Nia Jax got the win against Cora Jade and Bayley. Authentica did not win. Carmelo Hayes wins, and Chelsea Green retains. So hold on, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Raws and 2 Nights of Mania. So Drew McIntyre versus Aaron Matthews, Andrade versus Ethan Page, Sol Ruka versus Lyra Valkyria versus Valhalla versus Ivy Nile, Pete Dunne has a self promo, Trick Williams versus Bray Wyatt versus Gunther, Nikki Cross versus Piper Niven, Natalya versus Chelsea Green, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, and Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. No members of the Bloodline. Aaron Matthews defeats Drew McIntyre. Ethan Page defeats Andrade. Lyra Valkyria wins the Fatal 4-Way. Pete Dunne still had a self-promo. Gunther wins the Triple Threat. Nikki Cross defeats Piper Niven. Chelsea Green defeats Natalya. Shayna Baszler defeats Kairi Sane. And Rhea Ripley defeats Zoe Stark. In fact, yeah, nothing involving the Bloodline. Alright, yep, Nia Jax teaming with Kairi Sane. Kairi run. Just because you two are teaming doesn't mean you should trust her. But yeah, Nia Jax and Kairi Sane versus Pure Fusion Collective. Lyra Valkyria versus Ivy Nile. Andrade versus Josh Briggs. Nikki Cross taking on Women's World Champion Chelsea Green. Zoe Stark versus Stephanie Vaquer. Valhalla and Sol Ruka versus Fatal Influence. Ethan Page versus Ludwig Kaiser. Tyler Bate versus Grayson Waller. And Trick Williams versus Aaron Matthews. Alright. Shayna and Sonya win. Ivy Nile wins. Andrade wins. Chelsea Green wins. Zoe Stark wins. Fatal Influence wins. Ethan Page wins. Grayson Waller wins. And Aaron Matthews wins. But in what world does Zoe Stark defeat Stephanie Vaquer? Like, no disrespect to Zoe. Like, at all. I hope she has a speedy recovery. Alright, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Seth freaking Rollins. Shayna Baszler versus Piper Niven. Andrade versus Ethan Page. JC Jane versus Sonya Deville. Kevin Owens versus Kurt Angle. Sign me up for that. New Catch Republic versus A-Town Down Under. The Miz versus Umaga. Okay, there we go. Trick Williams versus Aaron Matthews, and Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. Seth Rollins wins. Shayna Baszler wins. Ethan Page wins. JC Jane wins. Kevin Owens wins. New Catch Republic wins. The Miz wins. On what planet does The Miz beat Umaga? Trick Williams wins, and Zoe Stark wins. Over Rhea Ripley? Well, like I said, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful towards Zoe Stark. She's one heck of an athlete. But the way that she has been booked does not seem like she should be beating these top tier women. Bianca versus Chelsea. Andrade versus Ethan Page. Austin Theory versus Tyler Bate. War Raiders versus Alpha Academy. Zoe Stark versus Kairi Sane. Kevin Owens versus Trick Williams. Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. Seth Rollins versus The Miz. And Randy Orton versus Dominic Mysterio. Alright, Bianca Belair defeats Chelsea Green. Andrade wins. Tyler Bate wins. War Raiders win. Zoe Stark wins. Kevin Owens wins. Nikki Cross wins. Seth Rollins wins. And Randy Orton wins. In fact, nothing involving the Bloodline on the Go Home show. And now we have the Women's World Championship on the line as Bianca takes on Chelsea. Then Asuka versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax will get 2 points for appearing at WrestleMania. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa will get 4 points, which is 2 points per person. Fallon Henley. So Asuka versus Nia Jax. The Guerrillas of Destiny versus New Day. Fallon Henley versus Sol Ruka. A-Town Down Under versus New Catch Republic. Adriana Rizzo versus Sonya Deville. Shayna Baszler versus B-Fab. Jaron Walker versus Rey Fenix. And Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship. So, I do want to watch one match on this episode. I mean, on night 1 of Mania. Tag team matches can take a while. So let's go with Asuka versus Nia Jax. Wait, I'm not sure if I mentioned... Well, I'm not sure how I phrased it in the beginning. I might have accidentally said the main event of WrestleMania is what we'll be watching. But it's pretty much just any Bloodline match that's on the card. Excuse me. I love this tag team entrance.
When Kyrie and Asuka are together, they bring out the most sadistic parts of one another.
So Kyrie on the same page, the same frequency, even the same wavelength. And when they work in tandem, there is no team more destructive.
And so when is the next DLC pack coming out? Oh, June 25th.
The irresistible force.
Also, yeah, so we are Yeah, we're less than 2 weeks away. And we don't even know the other two NBA stars. In fact, we don't even know who was the previous celebrity was in the DLC pack before this upcoming one. Like, 2K is doing a horrible job at keeping us updated on, like, who the DLC includes. Like, it started off with them announcing who the DLC was, like, a day or two before the game came out. Like, if you're going to announce the DLC, like, right before the game comes out, at least do it a week in advance. Like, a week at minimum. Because then it would give people a bit more time to be like, okay, do I want to pre-order the game? Because some people will just pre-order the game right away, and they won't even know, like, who's in the DLC. And once they reveal the DLC, and there's like 5 spots that have not been announced, that's just really crappy.
But if you can prevent her from hitting her tempo, you should be able to find an opportunity.
Like, if you're paying like $130 or just $100 for one, well, for a couple versions, well, one of the versions of the game, and you're getting the season pass with it, they should tell you who each person is. Like, the issue's not entirely them being non-wrestlers. It's just the fact that 2K isn't being completely open about who is in the DLC. Like, I've mentioned this in a previous stream when the last DLC came out.
That was a showing of control and aggression, something they'll want to keep up.
In fact, that stream took place May 14th, so just about a month ago, as of filming. This episode will be coming out after the upcoming DLC. Okay, well, after the Duncan Destruction pack. Because if I say it like that, like how, if I mention upcoming DLC after, like, this video, when this video is going up, it wouldn't refer to Duncan Destruction because that one would be out already. It would be referring to the Fearless pack, which I'm not referring to the Fearless pack. But I should be, because that's where the final guest celebrity is going to be. Like, yeah, most of these DLC packs are actually pretty great. And I guess, like, one of the DLC packs where they can realistically get away with not being completely open about is the WrestleMania edition packs. Like this year's WrestleMania 41 pack, they still haven't specified the new playable superstar, which that's understandable because they can't really predict this ahead of time. As well as the Persona cards for 2 of the main eventers, which that's also fair. Like, alright, people have been saying that the celebrity guests are Travis Scott and KSI, and the NBA stars are Jalen Brunson and Shaq. I mean, I would kind of be down for Shaq. Alright, Nia Jax gets the win at WrestleMania. So she gets 2 more points. I mean, it's kind of good that I don't have someone that edits my videos for me. Because honestly, I would probably get roasted for how long I rant about some things. I mean, to be fair, some of my rants are warranted. Okay, there they are. And that's 4 more points. Since that's a win for both members of the team. Alright, but let's see. Chelsea Green defeats Bianca Belair. Asuka loses to Nia Jax. The Guerrillas of Destiny defeat the New Day. Fallon Henley defeats Sol Ruka. New Catch Republic defeat A-Town Down Under. Sonya Deville defeats Adriana Rizzo. Shayna Baszler defeats former Women's World Champion and Queen of the Ring winner B-Fab. Jaron Walker defeats Rey Fenix. And then Raquel Rodriguez wins the Intercontinental Championship. You know, I should have done, like, the women's U.S. title instead. Like, just to kind of have, like, a variety. Oh, Mr. Iguana versus Andrade inside Hell in a Cell. Damian Priest versus Kurt Angle. Okay, Samu and Fatu. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. They take on Eric and Ivar, Julius and Brutus, and Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Hey, Tamina's at WrestleMania. Against Valhalla, but hey, appearing at WrestleMania still is a good thing. Even though this does seem like a match that would have happened at WrestleMania 36. which WrestleMania 36 gets too much hate, honestly. Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark, Alexa Bliss versus Lash Legend, The Miz versus Yokozuna, so Yokozuna gets 2 points there. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, and then Randy Orton versus Dominic Mysterio. Alright, I don't feel like sitting through a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. You know what? We're going to be watching The Miz versus Yokozuna. Alright, Andrade defeats Mr. Iguana. Oh, excuse me. Kurt Angle defeats Damian Priest. Alright, the Creeds defeat Samu and Fatu, Eric and Ivar, and Angelo and Montez. Tamina will get 2 more points for winning. And then we move on to just one of those weird one-off matches, respectfully. In fact, I am going to take the time to count up the current tallies.
Here comes one of the most decorated competitors in WWE history.
Because this is the final show. Well, technically the final match. So...
Contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, residing in Hollywood, California, weighing in at 221 pounds.
yeah, this one still has this match to go through.
You won in the main event at WrestleMania over John Cena, Byron. Oh, I know, never. But guess who did? The Miz.
By the way, you know who else is at WrestleMania and won?
I don't want to hear it, Michael. Don't go there, please. Undefeated Michael Cole.
Me and Miz, A+ and A list.
Byron, if I were grading you, I'd give you a DNC. Did not complete. Come on, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I got better things to worry about. It's Banzai time. You know, it's
All right.
more intimidating when Yokozuna screams that. Let me try it again.
From the land of the rising sun,
So then...
558 pounds.
So the score for this one could end up being the same that it currently is, or he could get 2 points for beating The Miz.
Distinction of being the only man to win and lose the WWE title at the same WrestleMania.
I'd venture to say that Yokozuna plans on winning here tonight.
Oh, The Miz is going to have his work cut out for him.
Astonishment setting in.
Oh yeah, I just realized that Great Khali is going to be in
Yokozuna, beware.
the Duncan Destruction pack.
Underway.
The mere
Well, as well as
presence
Abyss.
of Yokozuna is a stress test of the foundation of WWE. What girth. This is a mammoth individual.
When the bell rings, it serves as a siren to signify the launch of Yokozuna's sinister attack.
But across the ring is one savvy veteran, The Miz. Miz knows every trick in the book. I'm pretty sure
In fact,
some of them himself.
yeah, this episode is going up
Yokozuna is really putting the pressure on.
July
Yokozuna is absolutely
5th.
unloading here.
I do have a My GM video planned for let's see, Sunday the 6th, Monday the 7th, Tuesday the 8th. Okay, July 9th. And then there will be another 2K video on the 12th. But that's just how I would book Evolution.
Just pure brutality.
Corey, what do you have to keep in mind when tangling with an experienced veteran?
And don't worry, there will be more episodes of Speed Sunday as well.
Yokozuna making devastating use of his size and strength.
And now going for the victory.
Is this it?
It's over. All in a night's work.
Okay, well,
These superstars put on quite a show. Here's another look.
Here is your winner, Yokozuna.
alright, so let's get through these other two matches. So Seth Rollins defeats Kevin Owens, and then Dirty Dominic Mysterio will end this universe mode as the WWE Champion. So I'm not sure if the tallies are exactly correct compared to what will be at the bottom of the video. But here are the final scores. In last place, the Wild Bloodline with 20 points. In 5th place, the Island Bloodline with 25 points. And just barely beating them in 4th place is the OG Bloodline with 26. In 3rd place, getting the bronze medal, the Bloodline with 33. And then it's a pretty huge margin between 3rd and 2nd, which is the Banzai Bloodline with 57 points. And then that means the winners getting the gold, the Hollywood Bloodline, which could either be 67 points if you don't count The Rock's Survivor Series match, or 69 if you do. Now, I know for sure that the scoreboard will have the correct result. But this was a fun idea that I wanted to try. And I kind of figured that since there's a huge number of Bloodline members in this game, this is the perfect time to do it. But thank you all so much for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment any other video ideas you have for the future, and I'll catch you in the next one.